Hi everyone, I'm Liberty Doll, and this is Liberty Update. Before we begin today, I'd just like to request that everyone be sure that their seats and tray tables are in the upright position because this week's news reads like an issue of the National Enquirer, except it's all actually real life. Late last week, a 2005 video surfaced that caught Trump talking on a hot mic about groping women.
I did try and fuck her. She was married.
It's huge news, Sarah.
Furniture. I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there, and she was married. I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Ugh. Definitely not the worst thing I've ever heard, but still really creepy and gross. In a statement about the incident, he dismissed the commentary as locker room talk and was sure to remind everyone that Bill Clinton has his own history and even accused him of raping, assaulting, and talking dirty to women for years, all under Hillary's watchful eye. He also accused Hillary of bullying, intimidating, and shaming Bill's victims. Several high-profile Trump supporters have since retracted their endorsements, while others have stated that while they still support him, people shouldn't confuse that with holding similar values. Alaska's two senators have resigned their GOP leadership posts after denouncing Trump and publicly calling for him to step down as the Republican nominee. Senator Dan Sullivan switched his endorsement to Trump's running mate, Mike Pence. Susana Martinez, governor of New Mexico, has also withdrawn her support, as well as two other GOP candidates in the state's Senate and House races. The New Mexico College Republicans switched their endorsement to Gary Johnson this week, and Johnson has also reported a huge influx of support from dozens of so far unnamed GOP officials in the wake of Trump's comments. Speaker Paul Ryan, while not rescinding his endorsement, has stated he will no longer campaign with Trump or defend him, and told other GOP leaders on a conference call Monday to do whatever they had to do to save their own careers. Senators John McCain, John Thune, and Rob Portman have all withdrawn their support, as well as representatives from Utah, Alabama, Missouri, Illinois, Nevada, New Hampshire, and Idaho, and the list keeps growing. All have said they will not vote for Hillary either, with several of them suggesting that their supporters write in Pence. Trump, in kind, responded by talking crap on Twitter and accusing John McCain of being foul-mouthed. Lulz. After the 2005 tape came out, the New York Times, soon followed by several other outlets, published the accounts of two women who say that Trump attempted to grab their genitals and kiss them without their consent, exactly as he bragged about in the video. Trump, without any actual legal backing, has threatened to sue the Times like a petulant child. This is not the first time that Donald has been accused of rape or assault. Ex-wife Ivana accused him of rape in the 90s. Several former Miss USA and Miss Teen USA contestants accused Trump of barging into dressing rooms and making lewd or creepy comments, which Trump called one of the perks of owning the pageants, also in a 2005 interview. Miss Washington 2013 has accused Trump of groping her, as did a makeup artist in 1997. A 1992 segment from Entertainment Tonight shows Trump speaking to a group of elementary school children and then saying to the camera, "I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?" No, Donald. No, I can't. Trump campaign CEO Steve Bannon reportedly told campaign staffers that their next step was to turn Bill Clinton into Bill Cosby. But the Trump campaign might not have to work very hard on that transformation, as while the Washington Post was releasing the Trump video, Juanita Broaddrick was in the middle of an exclusive interview detailing her experience being raped by Bill Clinton and then intimidated by Hillary in 1978. Just hours before the second presidential debate on Sunday, Trump appeared on a live Facebook video with Broaddrick, as well as Kathleen Willey, who accused Bill of a sexual assault in 1993, Paula Jones, who alleged that Bill exposed himself to her in 1991, and Kathy Shelton, who was raped at age 12 and whose alleged rapist was represented by Hillary Clinton in court. However, Hillary seems to need little help these days in condemning her campaign after yet another round of email dumps from Wikileaks. This week's leaks come from a hacked email account of John Podesta, chairman of the Clinton campaign and former chief of staff to Bill Clinton. Over 10,000 emails have been dumped so far, with too many incriminating messages to count. In one email with the subject line, "Needy Latinos and one easy call," Podesta urges Clinton to call several prominent Latino politicians to ask for their support. In an earlier exchange, former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson told Podesta that if they expected him to support Clinton, he wanted a phone call. Several email chains revealed a troubling relationship between Hillary and the press. One email revealed that the Clinton campaign had orchestrated an off-the-record dinner for 37 reporters from 14 different outlets to woo them into only taking information from certain campaign officials and to convince them that any other campaign news was from unreliable sources. Emails from CNBC correspondent and New York Times political writer John Harwood showered Hillary with praise and talk about covering her the way she wants in his news stories. He further bragged about his negative treatment of Donald Trump while moderating a Republican primary debate. While still a CNN contributor, head of the Democratic National Committee, Donna Brazile, tipped off the Hillary posse about which questions would be asked at a town hall and which would warrant extra preparation due to being worrisome. Brazile denies ever having access to any of these questions. Emails also detail strategies for getting Latino voters communicated directly from the chairman of Univision. Even the Boston Globe has been implicated, with the op-ed editor coordinating when to release specific news stories and op-eds. New York Times Magazine chief national correspondent Mark Leibovich has also been caught in the crossfire, with emails revealing that Hillary was given veto power over which quotes and interview responses were published. He is described in the emails as sympathetic to the campaign. Hunter Walker, now of Yahoo News, was described as a friendly while still stationed at Business Insider. Brent Bodowski, columnist at The Hill, also cleared several columns with the campaign before submitting them. Another email about Hillary regarding a campaign stop in New Hampshire reads, "I know she has begun to hate everyday Americans," but suggests that she used the phrase anyway. Similar exchanges about her speeches include cues on when to smile in order to make her seem less stiff and stale. An email chain with Bill Ivey, a Bill Clinton aide, shows that the campaign team was concerned that Clinton is too smart for the American people and that the average American is too ill-informed to understand what she's saying in her speeches. The aide goes so far as to argue that America is made up of, quote, unaware and compliant citizenry. Emails also worried that a Hillary win was too dependent on a Trump nomination. Yet another email suggested the strategy of forcing Republicans into extreme conservative positions by creating what they called Pied Piper candidates to damage the Republican Party. The email lists Ted Cruz, Trump, and Ben Carson as possible Pied Piper candidates. House of Cards, anyone? One email that is particularly unclear is, for some, the most frightening. It comes from lobbyist Steve Elmendorf and simply reads, quote, "Didn't think wet works meant pool parties at the Vineyard." Podesta responds, "I'm all in. Sounds like it will be a bad night. We all need to buckle up and double down." Some sources claim it is a reference to a possible assassination plot, as the term wet work means a murder or assassination. However, other sources claim it was merely a typo of the word networks and that bad night references the New Hampshire primary, which also occurred on the same night. Despite some claims that this was a plot to murder Justice Scalia, he was not mentioned or referenced in the email. The Clinton campaign has not made any remarks on the email leaks except to accuse Russia of hacking the emails and to accuse Trump of buddying up with the alleged Russian hackers. Wikileaks is expected to drop another 40,000 emails over the next several days. In other news, at least 1.4 million people in 32 states are expected to lose their current Obamacare plan, according to state officials. This is largely caused by several major insurers, including Aetna and United Health, exiting the law's markets for individual coverage. Both companies report losses of several $100 million. It's expected that this will cause plan prices to spike even higher with fewer options when Obamacare signups begin next month. Minnesota is expected to be hit particularly hard, with price increases of 50 to 67%. Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton, who once championed the law, has critiqued the Affordable Care Act as no longer affordable. State regulators have stated that the Minnesota individual market is in a state of emergency. Also this week, the Arkansas Supreme Court ruled that medical marijuana will be included on the state's November 8th ballot. The state narrowly rejected a similar legalization proposal 4 years ago. Arkansas will now be one of 4 states with medical marijuana proposals on the ballot. It was revealed this week that a Utah woman was wrongfully arrested for a DUI earlier this year after failing unreliable field sobriety tests. The woman states that she called 911 after being rear-ended at a stoplight. She was badly shaken, and when police arrived, officers claimed she showed signs of a DUI. The report indicated the woman was speaking rapidly and unable to stand still. Police did not take into account the emotional upset caused by having just been in a crash that totaled her car and asked her to walk heel to toe and turn around. Police then arrested her, telling her that her balance was poor, which was evidence of being under the influence. In the dashcam video, police also pat down her breasts. She wasn't given a breathalyzer, and blood tests later revealed no traces of drugs or alcohol in her system. The woman is now taking legal action against the city. Finally, a CUNY professor has been accused of sexual harassment and has been ordered to make changes to his syllabus because of it. A university administrator pointed out a line of the syllabus that simply reads, quote, class deportment, effort, etc., 10%. Indicating that effort is worth approximately 10% of students' grades, and in parentheses, quote, applied only to select students when appropriate. The administrator did not say how or why this amounted to sexual harassment, only that it needed to be changed. The only thing that I can think of is that someone might misinterpret that as asking for sexual favors, but that someone would have to be pretty special. The professor also wrote in his syllabus that his classroom is an unsafe space, protecting free speech, and that students might feel uncomfortable with viewpoints different from their own, but that they just basically have to deal with it. According to the administrator, this part of the syllabus was fine. Despite the harassment claims, there is no record of any students complaining about the syllabus. The professor refused to comply and requested that all communication be done via email so the matter may be documented properly. This caused the administration to drop the investigation. That concludes your Liberty-related news for the week. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week.